Hi.
Introduce yourself and your family.
My name is Joyce Wanjohi. I am married for 4 years, I think. Yeah, about there. We have 2 children. Yes, we have 2 kids. Married to one guy, and I do paper flowers. That's my full-time job. Not eventually. That's a full-time job currently. Paper flowers, and yeah, pretty much that's my entire life.
Tell me about your journey to parenthood.
With baby number one, easier. Pregnancy was superb. You know those ones, no nausea, no morning sickness. I could just be modeling all through, you know. It was just a really nice pregnancy until the end, where on the day of delivery, we didn't have, what is it called? They said it's prolonged labor, but with having done more research, I don't think 18 hours is prolonged labor. We just had a tough break when I'd gone to 10 centimeters and the kid was not yet out. And I was overly induced, so I couldn't feel the contractions. So we had those awkward moments of a nurse holding your stomach. I may contract. Skuma sai. I'm like, yeah, but eventually the kid did come out, and straight from me to the resuscitation table, and I slept. So my husband and my mom had to deal with the rest of what was happening.
When Nathan came, did he cry?
He didn't cry. He didn't cry at all. And I think that was the genesis, because now it was straight from birth to ICU, the time I was waking up. And I think that was not a nice moment for us, because I had that period of, I knew before I slept that something had gone wrong. And then waking up, and then I'm seeing my husband trying to figure out how he's going to tell me something is up, but don't panic, but something is up. And of course I'd look at his face, and I'm like, my mom's face, I'm like, something is up. But I think ICU somehow was better than not having the kid at all in some part of my head. And at least it meant you're going to go and see a baby, you know. So I went. We stayed in hospital for a month after.
What did they tell you what went wrong?
Prolonged labor, and then asphyxia. The fact that he didn't cry, that was the first signal, like there's something wrong.
Jaundice?
No.
It was just asphyxia.
He just didn't cry. Imagine, such a minute detail in such a period, and then it affects the entire life, because that not crying meant there's no oxygen that went to some parts of the brain, and that led to everything else you know. Yeah, but when we're in hospital, they didn't put it like that. They told us delayed milestones. I don't like doctors, like, just say there's a problem with the baby. Delayed milestones. And they said delayed milestones, he'll have delayed milestones, and we wait it out, do therapy.
So they didn't give you a concrete diagnosis, it was just that?
Yeah, it was delayed milestones for, I think, 4 months. Because I remember we stayed for about 4 months before putting like a name to it. Okay, by we, I mean me, because my husband is totally on point. Him, he knew, but having interacted with such kids before, but he was gracious enough not to put a name to it until I was ready as well.
That's very kind.
That's very kind. But by month 4 is when we finally met a doctor who put cerebral palsy, like your kid has cerebral palsy. I didn't like how she broke it down, because I think when we entered to see her, she assumed we knew. So she went on, like, she started, your child will never, she will never, he will never, he'll never. I can't remember anything she said. Immediately she said cerebral palsy, and then started the prologue of things he will never do. I was like, breakdown, cut off. I can't hear anything you're saying. I think I just cried the entire time she was talking. And then we finished that session and I woke up and I went to the baby. But I had read, I won't say that I had not read. Of course, in 4 months you have Googled a lot.
Baby center, everything
You
is
have baby center. Because I hate baby center right now. Do you know they still send me
notifications every month?
Notifications. Your son is now 4 years old. She's a preschooler. I'm like, shut up. Don't email me again. He's not in preschool. Anyway.
Did you go through any occupational therapy with him? Or?
From hospital. All the way from when he was still in ICU, he started therapy. We left, we did therapy. Actually, we still do therapy till now. But we've done it from birth, literally from birth. Yeah.
And how many milestones has he achieved? Can he hold his head?
We're still waiting, but he's heading there. Like, he feels stronger and he feels more aware. We've come from a dormant stage where he was just there to now he laughs, he makes sounds, he makes movements, and then you can see he's really trying. So we're just waiting, I guess.
You took him to India. Tell me about it. What led to that?
Gosh, we've done India twice.
Oh.
So the first time was a bad experience for us. I think we took him with so much hope and little information about the hospital and what they were going to do. I wouldn't say it was a total loss because we ended up knowing so much about the condition, like in and out. Like, I think that was a period we came back with a baby and we truly understood exactly what we're dealing with and just him in entirety. But we also had like one of those moments where the doctors were unkind, were not kind, yeah. And because just before we left, we actually had one doc tell us to, how do I put it? Like, if he gets sick, give him 7 days and he'll be out of your hair, type of a conversation.
Really?
Yeah. And
this is a medical.
This is a medical. But I think from his perspective, and given the cultural differences as well, for him, it's this kid is going to be a burden in your life. He's not seeing any hope or any improvement. So his solution was just let him go and then you'll have other kids.
Wow.
And he actually told us, all I remember from that conversation is my husband kept asking, excuse me, what did you just say? And then he'd repeat and then he'd ask again. And then my husband would just look at him like, we clearly must not be understanding what you're saying. But, so that was the first time. So when India came up again the next year, we were all hesitant. We're like, we've done India before. And it wasn't nice. Like, those things like close that chapter, put it in a box and then throw it in some garbage can all the way in Timbuktu and move to your area. So what was different with this other time is I actually got to meet the doctor beforehand here, the neurosurgeon, and I talked to him, I explained my fears, I explained to him the situation, like about my Nathan at that point, and I got to meet other parents who'd gone through the same hospital and gone through the same procedure that I was considering.
What procedure is this?
It's called stem cell. So what they do is they remove the stem cell from the baby's hip bone. So there's no chances of rejection because it's from his body. India, the hospital is called Neurogen. Me and my mom were just like, yes, we are going. But I was so broke, so I remember coming to tell my husband, we're going to India. He's like, to do what? I went for this conference and I saw this doctor and I met his parents and yada yada yada. Then he looks at me, he's like, you serious? Like, yes, I'm serious. Like, so how are we going? So I have a history of getting really excited about ideas and going through them without having necessarily thought like 100 meters into the idea. And then now him is a complete opposite. For when I said India, his head was like accommodation, logistics. Me, I'm like, we're going to India. He's like,
come what may.
So he's like, wait, what money? Like, it will come. Like, it will come by chance. Like, he really tried to figure it out. Then I'm like, you know what? I'll hold a concert and get the money. He's like, all right. So you're doing this? I'm like, yes, I am going to do this. I'm going to get cash and I'm going to go to India in 3 months. It's like, you know what? You just go on, just do you. I remember I was talking to one of my friends, and when she was on the phone, I'm excited and I'm shouting and like, I'm doing a concert. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I need a name. So we're just ballparking. She's like, so you call it In My Shoes. Like, it's literally you talking, explaining to people how it feels like to be in Nathan's shoes. So that's how the name came about, from a phone conversation. And then the work began. You know, I'm good at my phone, advertising, and speaking things out and getting to people. And I don't know if people listen, but I'm really thankful people listen to what I have to say. So we went through that for 3 months. I had a really amazing team of friends who, when I told them, again, I have friends who've come to understand that when I have an idea in my head, it's going to come. Like, there's no telling me it won't happen. It's all of you get in line and figure out how we're going to do this. So we had a really amazing team of friends who just, you know, put their things down and they came and they helped me out and they helped me think through it. And then, of course, the things that I hadn't thought through, which were many. But, yeah, the concert happened. We had 10 institutions that came. So the whole concept I had was, I didn't want it to be a gloomy day because I don't like saying Nathan's story to elicit empathy or pity or whatever. I like it given in a sense of empowering and getting to appreciate life and the little that you have, so that guys stop complaining like, oh, my kid is running around too much. You know, I hear such parents and I'm like, are we complaining about the kid running right now in front of me? But coming to appreciate that there's diversity and it's okay. And we are okay.